Hello, everybody. This is Charlotte here reporting for the 18 WJTS News. I am again joined with a local hometown hero, which is, of course, our news segment that we've been debuting every Friday here on 18 WJTS. Of course, a hometown hero is somebody in our community that is doing great things to impact our community and the people who live here. This week, I am joined with Scott Saalman. Hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, hi.
Perfect. So you were nominated for all the work that you do with Will Read and Sing for Food. Now, for those out there who don't, particularly know what that is, tell us a little bit about what it is, how it got started.
Okay, Charlotte, Will Read and Sing for Food has been around since October of 2011. So this is the end of our 5th season, actually, our next show this month. We're a weird mix of live music and humor essays, and that's how the show runs. And since that day, since 2011, we have done $71,000 in money raised for over 2 dozen local charities. But then again, the money comes from the audience, so it's not us. But they keep coming back, and we get new people, and it's no surprise that this community is so giving. And I just think what's unique about us is we entertain for the money that they give to us, and then it all goes to whatever charity we choose that time. Yeah.
So what is the format? So if I come to an evening where you guys are at, what is the format that I can expect to see?
Right, it's really simple, really. It's kind of song, story, story, and it takes a while. I create a set list, and it seems easy, but I'm trying to figure out the whole show, and so it's not as simple as song, story, or however we do it, but it's really, there may be 5 or 6 musicians at one time, 2, 3 readers, humor writers like Abby Rumbach and myself, and others, and it's sort of like a songwriter in the round concept, if you're familiar. So musician, each person takes a turn, really is all it is, and so you go about 3 rounds through the whole evening to about 90-minute show, and probably 21 to 25 different humor pieces and music pieces that you're going to hear, and it's designed to I think it's a great format because it keeps the audience on the toes. Right. Yeah, if they would listen to me read 2 stories in a row, they'd be asleep. So that's why I decided I better get music in there to buffer. And the same, I think it's fun. It's worked so far. I think it's, this is our biggest season so far. This is our 5th season, and each season's been a record money maker. And partially probably because we do more shows, we really have been ramping up past 2 or 3 seasons. But we're still going. I hope to get $100,000, then I'll take a break and figure out maybe Jasper won't have to put up with me anymore. But I'm going to 100,000. Okay. And yeah. So
how do you find the entertainment? Mm-hmm. How do you go about finding the people to entertain?
Yeah, I think there's sort of a new slogan that just came to my mind recently. There's been over 100 musicians and writers in our show. We have a core group that is probably it's like Will Read and Sing for Food 5.1 right now, because our core groups have changed from the beginning but currently we have a pretty solid, long-lasting one of like Kyle Leakin and Debbie Sheeter and Mark Stezik and Abby Rumbach is always, has been a part of it, and others. And along with those, we have the guest musicians. We've had people come in who are touring through the state who will join us, or through the country, I guess. And but then many, I think the main thing is the saying I've been saying lately at the show is, so much talent so close to home, because 90% of who are in the show are probably DuBois County, and with a pretty handful of people from Evansville. But and the musicians are great, and a lot of singer-songwriters, and then we have some cover kings, so we try to balance the show. Actually, people love to hear the covers more than. But I recognize, the value of the songwriters, and so we try to do 50-50 in a show if we can. And each show is totally different as far as content. I got a million stories, and so does Abby and other people we bring in. So it's different every time, and I think that's what helps it too.
Makes it so unique too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the vision as a whole, when you first started in 2011, is the vision still being carried out, or has it exceeded your original expectations?
Well, I think the vision of the show is the same. You know, like when you create anything, this passion you have, you really need to develop some guiding principles right off the bat, and make sure you know that you're always on track. If you survive a year or 2 years or 3 years, and
Right.
stick to those and be true to them. And I learned that, you know, from work with Kimball Electronics and International, and so I've learned a few things from work that I've applied as kind of a manager of the
Okay.
show. So, but I guess when we started, it was mainly for the food bank, because we were
Okay.
reading for food. And the reason it was the food bank, the whole show started because I was always inspired by Harry Chapin, who was a '70s singer-songwriter, Cats in the Cradle,
Okay,
Taxi. I mean,
yeah.
he was a big time, known worldwide. But he would always do one show for himself, another show. The next show would be for some world hunger type. He started a foundation that still works, is still alive today, and run by, in part by his daughter. But I always remember that so for decades past, and I just, that always stuck in my mind. So when I sit down to think about this, I knew we were going to have to do it for a charity, and they're all for charity. So
Right.
Harry had one for him and
Right.
one for the other guy, and ours are all for the other guy. But I think the musicians, which are voluntarily
Okay.
basis of donating their time and talent. The applause and laughter is pay enough, and it gives them it gets them an audience, a different audience,
Oh.
and it's an audience that listens because
Receptive. They're receptive.
receptive, and they are engaged. And a lot of the musicians that we have will play snaps and play the bars, and
Okay.
people are talking, and they somehow they can survive doing that. I could never do that, but here on our show, they know that people are here to listen, so that's part of it. The interesting thing, so about 2 years after the show was going, remember Harry Chapin was the inspiration. I met his daughter Jen, and we got to talking, and Jen's a good friend of mine now too since then. But she brought her trio down from Brooklyn, New York, and for one of our food bank shows, and it was every seat was standing room only, and that really, it was a full circle moment for me regarding the show, and it was neat that I was the daughter of this guy.
Right.
And so that was nice, and that's led to a lot of other artists joining because Jen was in it, and so it's cool things like that. We did the Astra in 2014, the first time anything had been done in there for like 12 years. This was before the Next Act thing, and we had a Saturday show, or Sunday I think, afternoon and evening. And afternoon was a beautiful day, I remember, but it was half full, but then the evening show was totally full at the Astor. So that was the first time. That's the biggest audience. Like, wow. And we've done it. We've been there like last spring and did all right, close to the sellout. So we have a show October 8th there for Friends of the Jasper Library. And got a lot of cool things coming up in that October 8th show. I found a Latino band down at Huntingburg that's going to star in it, and Prisma's going to be doing something. And a young lady from WNIN, she's going to be she's Latin from I can't remember where anyway. But so we got a lot of. It's just going to be neat. Plus the normal folks that'll be in it. I'm excited about that one.
So what has been, I guess you've kind of touched on this next question, but what has been your greatest joy, and what kind of keeps you motivated to keep going? Because it is such a wonderful foundation, organization, and just what is your joy? What's your joy behind it?
The groupies, definitely the groupies. The Will Read and Sing for Food groupies are great. It keeps me going. Just kidding. There are no groupies. But what keeps me going, when we started doing this, and eventually, a lot of times it was just like bring a canned good when we were doing the food bank, and it was pay what you want or bring a canned good and you're in. We did that for several months, but the money started adding up more than the cans. There were a lot of canned goods, but the money put in the goldfish bowl started, and I was keeping track, and then we get to like $3,000, and it's like, And it was like, oh my God, $3,000, then we start charging. We figured we need to start charging $10 a head, and we started doing more than just food bank shows. And so what that taught me was a financial goal has become at this point for doing good for others financially is what keeps me going, because now I'm measuring from 3,000, now we're up to 71,000. It's like, I can't believe this, but there's a lot of people involved and a lot of audience members who make that happen. So that keeps me going, and what keeps me going is again, so much talent so close to home. I mean, I don't think there's another thing in the county that's really highlighting the great musicians. Oh my gosh, all over. Yeah, I don't even want to start naming them because I'll leave people out. But so giving them the spotlight and the enthusiasm they have for our show, and want to come back, and so yeah, I mean, definitely spotlight on all these and some of the writers, and I'm beyond. I've done maybe 3 pieces a show, and we're up to 90 some, and I'm beyond really caring if I'm up there reading or not. I still love the laughs, but I sure do like it when the others are getting the laughs, and I like seeing. There are a lot of wallets in this town that I haven't got my hands in yet for this show. Too many. It's crazy. You hear me? It's crazy, people. So many people have not come to the show.
So you need to come.
Yeah, and once you come, you'll come again.
Well, thank you for sitting down with me and sharing so much about this with me. I definitely learned a lot, and it's just so awesome what you guys are doing, and the numbers that are being raised for these wonderful charities in our community is so incredible. That's amazing.
It takes
an army.
It takes an army. It takes a village, and a village idiot started it. But seriously, it's heroes, because like I said, over 100 people who have donated their time and talent.
Right.
That's what it is. It's not me. I'm just managing it, and
well, everyone needs someone to help.
Oh,
lead,
sure.
So you were definitely the hero for that, for even coming up with the vision and to get this thing off the ground. And I thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Too. Whoever nominated us for this, thank you.
Yes.
Pay you back sometime.
Absolutely. So everyone, this is me, Charlotte Olson, again here with Scott Saalman, our hometown hero of the week, and we just learned about We'll Read and Sing for Food. And like he has said in the interview, if you've never been, you definitely need to come. So show up at one of the next ones. There's a Facebook page. We're also going to post some other showings that on our website. So check out any of those social media outlets to see where you can show up and attend one of these wonderful shows. And if you would like to nominate somebody for a hometown hero, you can contact me, and you can give me their information at 812-482-2727, or send me an email at mailbox@wjts.tv with the name and contact information for your nominee. This is Charlotte Olson again reporting on Hometown Heroes for 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.
Yes! Yeah! All right.